We do. Greetings, citizen.
Thank you, Space Ghost. It's nice to be here.
Identify yourself to the universe.
My name is Conan O'Brien. I'm 6'4". I'm 200 pounds. I displace 180 kiloliters of liquid.
That's metric.
Yes, I thought you used metric in deep space.
No, we really don't measure too much. We don't need measurements.
My apologies, Space Ghost.
How's the weather up there?
Is that because I'm tall?
What?
Sorry.
Peel back your upper lip. Higher. I need to see the glimmer of your titanium alloy skull.
Can you see my skull yet?
Are you a cyborg warrior from the future sent here to kill me?
No. I'm actually a robot from the past, a crudely made robot from the Civil War. I've been sent 130 years into the future to have sex with you.
Well, right on.
Let's get it on, my friend.
Stop tape. Okay. I don't know where to go with that, Conan. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I was born in 1963 in Boston, Massachusetts. I can withstand up to 2,000 degrees centigrade of heat. I'm not exactly sensual, but I have a pleasant odor, a potpourri smell. Can you smell it?
It's wafting in my direction, yes.
Oh, it was for you, Space Ghost.
Thank you. Now, how many degrees centigrade was that?
I can withstand 2,000 degrees. Anything above that and I slowly melt and start screaming, like the guy in that first Indiana Jones movie.
Right.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah. The Nazi. He melted.
My heat ray can reduce you to a pile of powder.
Is that a dry powder?
Well, it's sort of a gooey mix.
Do you want to do that later, or should we reduce me to powder now?
I think it would probably screw up the rest of the show. We'd have to go directly to the our second guest.
I did one season as my show, just as powder. It didn't work very well.
Hence the bad reviews early on.
I don't know what you're talking about, Space Ghost. My show was always beloved. I've never been criticized. I've always been loved.
My director, Moltar, is an evil pyromaniac. He wants to know if things are funnier when they're engulfed in flames.
Usually it's true when something's on fire, it's much funnier. So on that count, Moltar, you're very right. If a puppet's on fire, it's much funnier than a puppet that isn't on fire. The only thing that's not funny when it's on fire is diced fruit. We don't know why. Diced fruit on its own is kind of funny. But when you light diced fruit on fire, it doesn't get any funnier.
How do you light it? It's full of liquid.
Interesting. There's a way. Let me explain. What you first do is let the fruit dry. That takes about 6 days. Then you cover it with kerosene, which is highly flammable, and set it on fire. It'll burn for about an hour, but then go out. Here's the tricky part. At that point, you have to cover it with sand, let it dry for at least a year, then engulf it in a different liquid, which is highly flammable, a hydrogen sulfate, and then light it on fire again.
There's no oxygen in space, Conan.
Then let's forget it.
Let's forget that whole thing. At what point did you decide I should bathe for this?
Well, I've done a lot of shows, and I haven't bathed before. Leno, Letterman, Hee Haw. I never bathed, and it didn't seem to make a difference. But I've heard that in space, your odor actually lingers for thousands of years, actually, after you've left. So I decided I should bathe this time.
Your odor is currently traveling through a wormhole, through time and space.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. You didn't bathe, did you?
No.
Probably bad.
I haven't bathed, but Space Ghost, I've shaved my entire body to make myself smooth.
Like a Barbie.
Yes, like a Barbie doll. I prefer it that way. My clothes don't chafe me when I walk, and I appear very pretty.
Join the club. Have you ever wanted to grow your hair long, like a little girl?
I've thought about growing my hair long and tying it with a ribbon. You ever, let's try that part again. Can we go one more time?
Sure.
Okay. You asked me.
Have you ever tried to grow your hair long like a little girl?
Yes, I have thought about growing my hair long. When I was young, when I was about 14, my hair was very red. I grew it long and tied it with a bow on either side, and I used to walk from house to house and say, "Hello, I'm Pippi Longstocking." People thought it was funny until I was beaten.
Who beat you, Conan?
It was my father and my mother, which is an odd combination. Usually my father would beat me and my mother would say, "No, stop, he's just a boy." Or my mother would beat me and my father would say, "No, stop, he's just a boy." On that occasion, both my parents beat me, and I didn't hate it. It was kind of cool.
So how's the weather up there?
You know why that's funny, Space Ghost? Because I'm tall. But I'm not so tall that the weather would be different at 6'4" than it would be at, say, 5'10". I think that's why that's funny.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, have I angered anybody? Maybe I should go. Please, Space Ghost, stay. Just a little longer. Sit. I want to make you happy. I like this show. I'd like for this to go well.
Have you paid your dues, Conan?
I think I've paid my dues to society. I never really touched that little boy. And I think 7 years is a long time to be in prison. I'm sorry for what I did. Come on, let's just forget it.
Now, how can I assist you in your blossoming career?
Well, I've accomplished a lot. My TV show is seen by over 14 people every night. I'm now making $600 a year. These are far surpassing the dreams that I had when I was a little kid. But what I'd really like to be, if it's okay, is a male model. I think I'd be a great male model. Let me explain why. My legs are very long. My torso is kind of muscular. And I think I have kind of a nice smile. So if I could get catalog work, you know, Sears, JCPenney, I think I'd be a happy guy.
You're smooth and freckled. There's got to be a market for that.
I think there would be. I mean, I think my freckles are kind of endearing. Although some of them aren't freckles. They're sores. We don't know what causes them. We really don't. We think the not bathing has something to do with it. We're not sure.
I have vanquished you in the talk show's wars. Admit defeat.
You know, when you first came on the air, I thought, this guy hasn't got a chance. And no offense. But you know what I mean? You're from space. You're a cartoon. And your 60s show didn't really go anywhere.
What are you talking about?
Well, your 60s show wasn't that great.
We lit it up. What are you talking about?
It wasn't very good. It just wasn't. You were raw. You were unmolded clay. So I got kind of cocky, and I took it easy. Then some time went by, and my producer started to tell me that you were kicking our ass in the ratings. And there was a period of denial, and now I've entered the period of acceptance. You're better than me, Space Ghost.
You're right, I'm better.
Well, don't be a creep about it. I mean, be a little humble. I just said you're better than me.
I said, you're right, I'm better. I want you to say it.
Okay, Space Ghost. The unitard in the cape was genius. You know, I thought about doing that when I was just starting. Way back in 1993, there was a moment, just a moment when I thought, unitard, cape, mask, alien sidekick. I swear to God, I really did think about it. And then I thought, I don't know, it's a little too edgy. You're good, Space Ghost. A little too good.
Just demonstrate how you would fend off an attack by the evil Prancitron.
I think what I'd do at first is I'd hold out my arms like this. Because the Prancitron likes to get in close, bite your throat, and eat your innards, leaving your skin intact. So I'd keep my hands up in front of me so the Prancitron...
Wait. You're thinking about Valgar, the Soul Reamer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say Prancitron?
I said the evil Prancitron.
Evil Prancitron.
Yes. Don't. That's not to be confused with the good Prancetron.
There's the good Prancetron, and then there's kind of the morally ambiguous Prancetron. I got confused.
That's a totally different dimension.
We don't want to talk about that. My apologies. So what are you talking about?
The evil Prancetron dances rapidly.
Evil Prancetron.
Yes.
Mostly wear rain gear. You know? Anything made of rubber, bright yellow.
But you have to protect your eyes against the dance of wonder.
Yeah, but you know, people overstate that. You know what I mean? Do you really need your eyes? Think about it. I've got a lot of people that work for me. They can describe things. I can wear sunglasses all the time like Jack Nicholson. Don't get worried about the dance of wonder. You're overthinking it, Space Ghost.
How would your life be different if you were born with a ring of eyes around your head?
All the way around?
Absolutely.
Well,
like a sweatband.
I have a brother who has that problem, so I can tell you exactly.
Get out.
It's true. Eyes going all the way around. He had a lot of mercury when he was a kid. And that'll go over well with your child audience. Ring of eyes all the way around the head? Boy, I don't know. I think it'd be okay for a while. But then I'd see people laughing at me as I walked by.
You could cover most of them with hair.
Most, but that's not all, Space Ghost. That's
yes,
not
there
all.
would probably be a few peeking out of your temples.
Yeah, and then I'd see...
And the bridge of your nose.
I think people laugh at me as I pass them. People are usually nice to me as I'm approaching. Hey, Conan, good show. But then as I pass, they roll their eyes and go, yeah, real good. And I don't want to see that. I like pretending that they really like me.
You could watch them as you pass through the eyes in the back of your head.
Yes. Yes, I could, Space Ghost. Space Ghost, you're fumbling. Something's wrong.
Conan.
Yes? Can I help you? You seem baffled, Space Ghost. What's wrong? You've been drinking before the show again, haven't you?
Look where my hand was, Conan.
Yes? I am.
Look at it.
I'm looking at your hand.
Ooh.
That's what George Michael said. Get it? Because he had that problem. You know, I'll tell you, comedy comes easily to me. It's fascinating. What? Are you still here? I'm sorry. I thought the show was over. Has it ended?
What, you need to get out of here?
No, I've got nowhere to go.
Because I've got a whole list of, like, Conan the Barbarian jokes that I wanted to go through.
Conan the Barbarian?
Should I do them all now, or should I pepper them throughout the rest of the very long interview?
I would say pepper them throughout. That keeps me off balance. Every time I think, that's got to be the last one. And then when one more comes, it completes me, knocks me for a loop.
Interview me, and I'll tell you what you're doing wrong.
Okay. Space Ghost, everyone knows you're sexy, but let's get to the real you. In the movie Go...
Wait, stop.
Huh?
Where's your weapon?
I don't have a weapon.
Well, there's problem number one.
So always have a weapon.
When you're interviewing celebrities, yes.
Can it be a conventional Earth weapon, or should it be sort of a fanciful space weapon?
Preferably a violent ray.
Okay, a ray of some kind.
A violent one, yes.
Okay. So a ray, and what should it do? Should it immobilize people? I'm confused because there's so many rays. There's a ray that disintegrates people. There's a ray that makes people float. There's a ray that increases people's density.
There's a ray that spanks people.
There's a ray that spanks people. Man, that ray. I was skeptical when it first came out. I love that ray.
Who would you spank with the spank ray?
If I had to spank anyone with the spank ray...
Who's bottom?
Who's bottom? Fabio. Let me explain why. Fabio's bottom, as Earth people go, is not only firm, but has a three-dimensional quality that exceeds every other Earth ass. Bottom. It is the Cartoon Network, isn't it?
Yes.
Can you bleep me here?
We'll have to.
Oh, good.
Go on about Fabio's bottom.
I think I'd spank Fabio's bottom. Fabio's been a bad boy and needs a spanking, in my opinion.
My band leader is an evil praying mantis named Zorak. He would like to crash your brow.
Crash my brow. I'm sorry, I'm not...
Caress.
Oh, caress my brow.
With a rake.
Well, go ahead. Let's get it on. I haven't had my brow raked in quite a while.
He says touche. I don't know what that means.
Is it Moltar?
Zorak.
Oh,
You've
sorry.
offended him. You've offended him.
You're Moltar, and you're Zorak. Okay. Space Ghost, right? Cool.
That's right, Conan. What's the coolest thing that's ever fallen out of the sky and landed in your yard?
When I was a boy, I was walking through a country field, minding my own business. I was walking along and I heard something whistling through the air, falling. And I looked up, and believe it or not, 1960s singing icon Eartha Kitt fell right out of the sky and landed in my arms. And I said, "Eartha Kitt, what are you doing here?" And she said, "Put me down, you white fool, or I'll scratch your eyes out." I couldn't believe it. Most amazing thing that's ever happened to me.
Wow. Anything else falling out of the sky and land in your yard?
A couple of years ago, I was walking down the street. Not a field, but a street this time. I was walking along, minding my own business. And as I was walking, I heard something whistling out of the sky. I held out my arms, instinctively, because you think maybe I'll catch something. And right in my arms, TV pitchman George Kennedy landed right there. I said, "George Kennedy," he said, "have you tried Breath Assure?" I said, "Tried it. I buy it every day." We became lovers soon after that.
What happened to your finger there, Conan?
I caught my finger in a garage door, and I injured it.
That's not a very good story.
Well, let's try a different story then. I was walking down the street one day.
Tell that George Kennedy one.
I was walking down the street one day, and I was holding my finger high in the air, when all of a sudden I heard a whistling sound out of nowhere. Just the air just screaming like something's falling out of the sky. I held up my finger intuitively. Guess what landed on it? Any idea? Game show legend Gene Rayburn landed right on my finger. From talk show? From Match Game. I'm sorry. I had a drink before the show.
So that's how the finger thing happened.
Yeah, that's how the finger thing happened. Yeah.
Okay.
There's another story I could tell. Sometimes before the show, I get nervous. I'm worried that it's not going to go well, and I chew my fingers. And this one time, I was really nervous because we were going to have Joanne Worley on the show, and she has got nothing to say, and I'm chewing my fingers, and I bit this one really hard. That's the story. How am I doing so far, Space Ghost?
We've had Joanne Worley.
Has she done this show?
Twice.
Ouch.
Twice in a weekend.
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday.
And now I'm here. What does that mean? Anyway.
What do you like the most about the movie Phantasm?
I think the greatest thing about the movie Phantasm is it's not spelled with an F, it's a PH. Mm-hmm. That's genius. Who thought of that?
But what about the silver ball of death that drills into your skull?
Yeah, that silver ball. I would say the coolest thing about the movie Phantasm is that silver ball. You throw it, and it travels through corridors really quickly.
No, it's driven by Satan.
Yeah, sure. Satan. But the best thing about the silver ball is it goes right into your head, and as it hits your head, people's eyes cross, and then they slowly fall over. And there are many times when I'm doing the show and I wish I had a silver ball of death. Because when you have someone on from Baywatch, blah, 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 David Hasselhoff, such a blah, blah, blah. You wish that you could say, terrific story, and then whip out a silver ball of death and hit them right in the middle of the forehead. What a great end to a segment. Mm-hmm. They get this drill right through the head, their eyes crossed, blood and gore shoot out of their brain. You turn to camera and say, they're dead. We'll be right back.
Zorak has two of them. 2 silver balls of death.
Cool.
He lobs them underhanded like softball.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice to know.
I mean, they don't drill all the blood out of your head. They just sort of, stab you.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
It's a flesh wound. Nothing to worry about. I've captured my arch enemies and put them to work on my show. What have you done to rehabilitate Andy?
Well, Andy can read now, which is important. When I found Andy, he was a feral boy living in the woods. He had been raised by wolves, but the wolves got irritated with him, and so they left him, which had never happened before. And I've taught Andy a lot of things. I have taught Andy so many things when you really think about it. Andy dresses himself now. Andy can fight Tai Chi. Did you know that? He's also
didn't know that.
Andy's a Tai Bo expert. I taught him the secret art of Tai Bo, which is, you know what Tai Bo is?
No.
Tai Bo is it's an interesting infomercial that's on the air right now. It teaches people self-defense and exercise at the same time. Carmen Electra does Tai Bo. Sinbad, the comedian, promotes Tai Bo. I've taught Andy to make his own clothes. I've taught Andy to hunt for gnomes in the woods.
Make his own clothes.
Yeah.
Wait, go back.
Yeah, yeah. Andy...
You know how to do that?
Yeah, oh
Make-
yeah. I
make
can make my
clothes?
own clothes.
Hand
We
make-
make all the clothes that we wear on the show, we make ourselves. We do not have a big budget. So my morning begins at about 6 a.m. I come in, Andy comes in, we have a giant bolt of cloth, and we start making our own clothes. We make suits, we make ties. Sometimes we upholster the furniture on the set.
Capes?
We've never made a cape,
I don't-
Spaceman.
Space Ghost.
Spaceman.
Space Ghost.
You were a spaceman who died and became a space ghost.
I've always been dead, Conan.
No one can always be dead, Space Ghost.
Sure. I'm dead right now.
Let's look at it this way. Casper was a boy who died and became Casper the Friendly Ghost. No one wants to admit that he was a boy who died, but he's a boy that died. Space Ghost is obviously a spaceman who died and became a space ghost. Now, I know you don't want the kids to know that you died, but you died, baby. You got to get down with that.
No, I didn't die.
Yes, you did. You choked on a muffin, Wait, you were a spaceman who ate an overly large muffin and choked to death and became Space Ghost. Now, that is not a cool
Shut
origin.
up. These are lies.
It's
These
true.
are lies.
Everyone should know this. Space Ghost was a spaceman who had an embarrassing death. He choked on a
I'm
muffin,
leaving.
a bran muffin. Face it, Space Ghost! You're a spaceman that choked on a muffin! He'll be back. He just has time to heal, that's all. Therapy is what that guy needs. No one's always a ghost. It's pathetic.
Excuse me.
Are you ready to come back now, Space Ghost?
Sorry. I had to use the restroom.
It was a banana walnut muffin, wasn't it? Come on.
Are you ready for some more barbarian jokes?
All right, let's have some.
Wait, I lost my list.
You're pathetic. You know, I've been interviewed by all of them. Regis, Kathy Lee, Regis and Kathy Lee. But you, Space Ghost, you're so unprepared. Maybe if you spent less time polishing your titanium interspacecraft, or adjusting the setting on your ray, or tying your cape, or adjusting your cowl, or eliminating protoplasm from the studio audience. If you spent a little more time preparing for the interview, maybe the interviews would go a little better.
Hey, how's the weather up there?
Because I'm tall? You get me every time. How do you do that? The weather up there. Oh, get you, Space Ghost.
Have you ever actually seen my show, Conan?
Once I was in an airport, and my flight was delayed, and a guy next to me was asleep, but his little TV was on, and your show was playing, and I saw about 6 seconds before I turned away in horror. So yes, I've seen the show.
So you know Moltar, then?
Hey, Moltar.
He says that you look pinker than he had imagined.
Well, I apply a lot of makeup before I do any television. I'm the whitest guy on TV. I am whiter than you, Space Ghost. I am whiter than Space Ghost, and that is really saying something when you think about it.
I'm pretty white.
I am extremely white. Believe it or not, I'm wearing 8 coats of makeup right now to appear even this pale. Were I to take off my shirt right now, it would be a supernova that would blind you, your entire staff, and destroy the show as we humans understand it.
Do it. We've got time.
Take off my shirt?
Yeah, sure.
I would, but then you'd all see my fourth nipple. You thought I was going to say third nipple, didn't you? But I said fourth, and that blew your mind.
You've been blowing us off for years, Conan. Why now?
The price wasn't right for a long time, Space Ghost. You guys were calling me up and saying, we'll give you $30 to appear on our show. And I was smart. A lot of guys would have said, $30? That's not bad. I could rent 9 movies with $30. I could have 2 or maybe even 3 meals at McDonald's and then still have money left over to buy a really bad denim cap. But not me. I knew that if I bided my time, waited, eventually the price would go up to $42. Well,
here we are.
Here we are, and I want my 42 smackers, pal.
I don't have any money.
Oh, well, that's okay. Forget it.
I find pants to be so constricting, don't you?
Not really. Even when I wear the tightest pants, Space Ghost, I still have a lot of room down there.
What do you say we take them off and let the comedy spill out?
Take off our pants? Space Ghost, I've been waiting 6 years to hear you say that. Let's do it.
You're not in my time slot, are you? Are you?
Well, how do you define time, Space Ghost? It's very complicated. I'm on at 12:30 at night. Actually, 12:35.
Mm-hmm.
And you're on at what time again?
The year 2012.
No, we don't really...
2013 now. 2000.
We don't conflict. I think we're on at different times.
Good, because I would have to eliminate you.
No, we can't have that.
Why can't we?
If you eliminated me, all comedy would disappear. Now, some people think that I have a swelled head, but I stand by that statement. I think I am comedy. I need my medication. Where is it?
Hey, what's your prison nickname?
Chipper. I have a good attitude in prison. They call me Chipper. There's another reason, but I can't say it on this show.
Go ahead.
No.
Tell me about working with other people. What's that like?
Well, people are a little strange at first when you start talking to them. Do you know what I mean? Because they're not you.
No.
And after a while, though, you start to get used to their boring anecdotes and their stories about how the movie really worked out better than they thought. Their director's terrific, or, boy, I love the cast I work with. I mean, you just learn to deal with their endless babbling.
Conan?
Yes?
Hello.
Hello to you, Space Ghost.
Do you have any parting thoughts for the universe?
Well, I do think that maybe it would be a better universe if everybody had a talk show, not just you, but other creatures on other planets. It would be very liberating. Why should you be the only space ghost to have a talk show? Doesn't seem right.
Other creatures do have other talk shows on other planets.
Well, Earth doesn't count, and Donnie and Marie really doesn't count. But what are you talking about?
Have you ever seen the Terrible Alan Hour? Terrible Alan
Terrible Alan.
from the planet Remar.
I saw that on the WB, actually. They'll carry anything.
It's terrible.
What?
We had to change names. Okay, well, we're wrapping up. How much? If you had the power to make any sandwich appear just by calling out its name, what kind of sandwich would you summon right this instant?
I would summon an onion and dark meat duckling sandwich on pumpernickel.
That's pretty unlikely. How about summoning something else?
I'd like to summon a sandwich made entirely of concrete. At first, people would think, he can't eat that. But then I'd use my titanium jaws to eat it and burp.
You are a killer from the future.
Maybe I am, Space Ghost, but I'm here to kill you with laughter. Get it? Instead of killing you with like a gun or something, laughter. How am I doing? What's happening? Where's the audience going? They're leaving.
Do you have any parting thoughts for the universe?
I'd like to say that I think this show is very bad and should be stopped. I think you're a bad person, and don't take this the wrong way, but I think you represent evil, and your presence makes any kind of progress in the universe impossible. You are the one thing standing between mankind and something better. Do not take this the wrong way, but you are like a black hole sucking all quality and talent into yourself and turning it into negative energy. And please do not think I'm being in any way negative or critical, but you're a bad guy, and I don't like you or your smell. I don't like your set, and I wish someone would stop you, Space Ghost. Please, would someone stop Space Ghost? That's pretty much it. Other than that, have a great day.
Well, thank you.
It was nice talking to you. I really enjoyed being here. And check out my show. How'd you like my plug for the show?
Well, tell everyone what it is.
Well, Space Ghost, at the end of an interview, it's traditional for the talk show host to say, "Thanks for being here, Conan. This was Conan O'Brien. Check out his show on NBC at 12:35. You didn't do that. You completely blew me off. For all these people know, my show is a cop show on Fox or something. Thanks to you.
Isn't it?
Kinda. I'm a neat cop, and my buddy Andy's a messy cop, and we fight crime in Los Angeles.
You're the original odd couple.
Kind of. Can we share a talk show without going crazy?
Well, thank you for being on my show.
No
I do
problem.
mean that.
Do you really mean that?
No.
Because I have a sincere meter, and you are way in the red.
Mm-hmm.
I am not showing any sincerity on that.
No, I mean it, man.
Where are you going?
Oh, I got some stuff going on. I got some errands I got to run. It was great.
Well, can I come along?
No, it's all right.
I'd like to come with you. Where's everybody going? Can I sleep here? Is that okay? Brought a pillow. Hey. Wow. Wow.
You still here?
Yeah, hey! You want to do something?
No, man, I gotta run.
Do you want to grab a space beer, maybe?
That's cool.
I got nothing going. I'm pretty much free schedule. You want to do anything?
I gotta go too.
Where you going?
He
'Cause
makes me go on the errands with him.
I got. Hey, do you want to buy any? No. Is that? Or can we? Anyone want to do anything? You guys want to get together, or? Because I don't have. I have plenty of free time. I have nothing. Hello? Where? You guys? Is anybody? I mean, I brought I brought a bag lunch. Does anybody want to get together and?
Need someone out on the set, clean up.
Okay, well, I'll just be here. I'll be here in the morning if anyone needs me. I haven't really got anything planned. If anybody wants to get together.
Great.
Is that enough? That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's more
Yeah, maybe it'd be funny if he just leaves.